Next, we have before us item 10A4, resolution number AR 2022-53, a resolution of the Anchorage Municipal Assembly recognizing February 2022 as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. What is the will of the body?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Rivera and seconded by Ms. Zalatel. Seeking unanimous consent. Seeing no opposition, this resolution is approved. Who is reading and who is presenting?
I'll be reading, Madam Chair. I believe Ms. Zalatel will be presenting.
And I understand we have folks here.
A resolution of the Anchorage Municipal Assembly recognizing February 2022 as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Whereas teen dating violence is a serious issue that can affect a young person's safety, development, and a sense of comfort, and can take many forms, including physical, sexual, emotional, or spiritual. And whereas, according to the 2017 Alaska Youth Risk Behavior Survey, 1 in 10 Alaska students had experienced sexual violence during the year. And whereas 8.8% of Anchorage students surveyed had been physically hurt by someone they dated within the past year, and 6.4% were physically forced to perform sexual acts by someone they dated. And whereas Brianna Bree Moore was tragically murdered by her boyfriend in Alaska in 2014 as a result of dating violence, after which her parents worked with the Alaska legislature to pass the Alaska Safe Children's Act, known as Bree's Law. And whereas teens and all persons deserve happy, healthy relationships where conflict is managed without threats, and where there is honesty, trust, mutual respect, open communication, and a mutual balance of power dynamic. Now, therefore, the Anchorage Municipal Assembly resolves that February 2022 is designated as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month in the municipality of Anchorage, passed and approved by the Anchorage Assembly this 15th day of February 2022.
Thank you. Madam Chair, Mayor Bronson, Anchorage Assembly and staff, thank you so much. This is probably a very appropriate evening for us to be here. Some of you have heard the story, but when I walked into Bree's dental office and her coworkers hugged me and cried and said, "We wish we would have done something." I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, we knew that she had been being beaten by her boyfriend, and this was 3 months after he murdered her." Cindy started doing research, found out Alaska were #1 in the nation in men intentionally killing women, sexual assault, domestic violence. You guys know, the list goes on. So she looked for and researched, wasn't there any education? Because like I said to Bree's coworkers, well, if she was choking, wouldn't you give her the Heimlich maneuver? Wouldn't you know to do that? And of course, they all knew. CPR, his dentist office. But they didn't know what to do in this case. So she found a young woman who had been murdered by her boyfriend, Lindsay Ann Burke, in Rhode Island. And she called Ann Burke. And that was the only teen dating violence prevention education in the United States at that time that she could find. And she said, well, how did it work? And Ann Burke said, well, 2 years after my daughter was murdered and we started this, we've cut dating violence in half in our state. And Cindy said, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you take this nationwide? Our daughter might be alive today. Why? And she explained to Cindy, it's like having the flu and having to run a marathon. You have no idea what you're up against. So we passed the first bill, Bree's Law, in 2015, which required dating violence prevention, grades 7 through 12. And in 2018, it took us 2 years, and we passed the second Bree's Law, which developed the education specifically for Alaska that was finally implemented at the start of this last school year. And just like Rhode Island, 2 years after we started in 2015, the Alaska Youth Risk Behavioral Survey showed teen dating violence in Alaska dropped in half, nearly in half. So it's working, and the teachers love it. It's a great product. 5.5 years ago, Lisa to combat dating violence and provide education. Don Young also put a bill forward. They didn't go. This last summer, Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan put another bill forward. Don Young put one forward in December. They were added to the Violence Against Women's Act that was put forward on Wednesday. It includes Breeze Law and funding for national education and what we actually asked for, which was to make it free of charge across our country to all school districts and anyone who wanted it, any community organization. And they put $8 million a year, each year for 5 years to fund this project. And this all started right here where Bree was born and where she lived. And so we're happy to announce that. We've been working with the municipality, some of you know already, on a communication device, a plaza, that just what Bree would want is not just dating violence and domestic violence prevention, but help for everyone, for homelessness, hunger, opioid abuse, suicide prevention. And we'll be bringing some of that forward, and the public will be involved. And I think this is a great thing. Our state legislature was involved, and they had a chance to pass some laws and do some things and save some people's lives. On a national level, the whole country will be involved. And I think this is great. The municipality of Anchorage now will have our shot. We can do something here that'll be great for the whole country.
And I just wanted to thank the mayor and everyone on the Anchorage Assembly for this resolution and how much it means and how far we've come to really combat this issue. And I think that most people don't realize that interpersonal violence is the highest among girls and young women the age of 16 to 24 years old. These are our sisters. These are our daughters. These are our granddaughters. Yet we don't pay enough attention to this. And normally the victims, they stay silent. And that's why this education is so important and why we need to start having these conversations with our young ones. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Weddleton?
Thanks. I just want to comment. Thanks for coming. You know, I know you met, I think, several of us about the time I got on the Assembly 6 years ago, and you've been working it for some time at that point. And now when I go to high schools, I see the signs, Breeze Law signs on the wall. It's like, wow, good for you. And then hearing about your success at the national level is really spectacular. And I'm glad you've run. It's not a marathon. You're doing several ultra marathons, but it really is tremendous. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weddleton. I see someone in the queue, Assembly Guest 1.
Hi,
Ms. Johnson.
Alexis Johnson through the chair. I just wanted to say, hi guys, that I had the opportunity to know Bree, and she was such a light. I'm talking sunshine in a human. So I want to commend you for the hard work that you're putting in and to ensure that this doesn't happen anywhere else. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for recognizing that she was a sunshine.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. And thank you for being here tonight and for your tremendous advocacy and the good that you're doing in our community and in the state. Thank you.
Thank you.